man, it's that time. Let's do this. Let's have some fun. Let me get the stream started here. Hey there, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It is so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is July 24th, 2025, and we're going to write a little bit of code today. How you doing there, chat room? How's it going? I've got a cable that's out of place here. I was moving some things around, and there we go. There we go. Like, I've got a lot of things happening here on the desk, and I gotta move some things around a little bit. Hey, Pyra Cat, hello. Time to stream, not play games, or are we doing both today? I'm not going to play games on stream today. I should at some point, but not today. I've got a couple other things that we'll talk about. We'll get into. Let me and Charlie jumping right onto you. Yeah, there you go. Your commit messages are creative. Fixed stuff appears 47 times. That's a thing. Let me say hello to chat. We're right over here. We're broadcasting live on Twitch and YouTube. It's great to see folks tuning in right at the top here. Let me say hello. C# Titan, good evening to you in Melbourne, Australia. Yes, aspirify your life. That's a thing. I like that. Aspire that John. I wonder if that could become a thing. I had some updates that I rolled out to Copilot that John yesterday. I realized I had some caching issues on the search pages. Addressed those, rolled that fix out, and it's looking much better. Much better. Let me see here. Yeah, Dark Repulsor. Developers need to aspire. Facts. There. How you doing? Let me see here. Wasim, hello to you in Sweden. Yep, and my Flynn's arcade hat. And does it reference? Yes, the design evokes a nostalgic arcade aesthetic, referencing the fictional arcade from the Tron franchise. You better believe that's the reference. Yes, indeed. There you go. It is worn and casual, and yeah, it was designed and made to look worn. That it came from yesteryear. Billy Cool, good to see you there. Hello, Dark Repulsor. I am going to be working on some things for Charlie for the workshop. We'll talk about .NET Aspire 9.4, and we'll get into a couple things here. Sir Fragger, hello. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you joining us. See, I've got to get those working with Charlie. VS Code got a nice update. Yep, VS Code got an update. Let me see here. Jean Valjean, good to see you. That's Coder 24601 to you right there. Hello. Hey there, Alberto. Hello to you from Italy. Welcome. Where's my map? Did it pick up? No, it didn't. Hello from. That's a good way to phrase it that we need to be able to cover there. Let me get that into my list of fixes. Right? Hello, everyone. Everyone from the location. Got to capture that. How you doing there? PC Nerd in Pueblo, Colorado. I've got that one popped up on the map. Alberto, try again and just say hello from Italy. It'll pick that up and we'll have you on the map then. Yeah, for some reason, Charlie's not picking up any content. Not content. Is it not picking up content? Are we not getting? Yeah, it's not connected to YouTube properly. Let's try that again. Get you reconnected there. Yep, look at this. Restarting. And see if it picks up. There we go. Now we're connected to YouTube. And it loaded up everybody on YouTube who was saying hello from. There, we got you now on the map over there. Cymac, good afternoon to you. Patty boy, how you doing there in Glasgow? Alriska, good afternoon. Welcome. Sir Fragger says, hello, I'm a C#.NET DevOps. Nice to see some interesting stuff on Twitch. I hope you find it interesting. Welcome. Yeah, we're gonna get into I don't know if we're gonna get into DevOps topics today, but definitely something that's in the wheelhouse, right? It's in the region, it's in the air around .NET Aspire. Let me get some music playing in the background here, and then we'll jump into a little bit more talking with chat, talk about some Aspire 9.4, the new release that's coming, and we'll dive in a little bit. This is called Laser Runner. There we go. This is music that's DMCA free. It's royalty free. Listen to it wherever you'd like. Check it out at streambeats.com. There's all kinds of genres available. I like to listen to synthwave and some EDM music that's up-tempo and just kind of groovy to listen to in the background. Big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for this music we're listening to today. I should talk about that. Let me put the map up so you can see what's going on right over here. And the map of various locations, folks have chimed in and announced where they're watching from. Thank you so much for sharing, and we'll put a pin appropriately on the map, and my pins are hats, because I like hats. Showing up there on the map, I wanted to change, where is it, my scene transitions, get that back, because I was doing some work yesterday recording the announcement video for .NET Aspire 9.4. Let me catch up with chat a little. C# Titan asks, if I install .NET 10 Preview in Docker, how can I run a console app to use that? Docker exec and execute what you want to work with inside there. Let me, yeah. Use Docker exec with the .NET 10 containers. So, there we go. Alberto, we can see. We've got a red hat there for a viewer from YouTube in Italy. There you go. Just put C# up during the stand-up. Has a lot of good info. Yeah, there you go, Dark Repulsor. First time you're able to follow live, already breaking things. All good, Alberto. All good. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So, all right. Let me see. Warm Peas, how you doing there in Worcester? Ooh, go ahead, take a look. J. Roma Lalite, hello, welcome. Thindall, how's it going there? You're not listed? What do you mean you're not listed? You're not at home. Well, how many hats do I have now? Well over 200. Well over 200, and my rack of hats that I have on my door over here is overflowing. I've got plastic bins here so I can see the hats in them. They're full. I need another plastic bin. There's just so many there. So there you go. It's my Flynn's Arcade hat. So, Alu the Dragon, how you doing there? Parlamento, how's it going there? Yep, it's giving you the cash there. What did you? Hang on, let me go back to your message. Let's see if it picked that up. Okay. Sir Fragger, it doesn't detect your location and plot it when folks mention something. Right, when folks join in and talk in chat. This is for privacy reasons. It only plots pins for locations that folks have declared in chat. Good morning from Philadelphia. Hey, I'm watching from Brazil. And then it will place a pin on the map. So it's very opt-in. It's very elective for folks who want to join and share. You can share as much or as little or as accurate about your location as you'd like. So, you would buy a hat if I were to create one for the channel. had several ideas of swag and hats that I would make. That's something that is we'll explore and talk more about that in the days and weeks ahead. I'll kick off the map doing a tour to zoom in on some of the locations folks have shared. While that's running, let me take this question from, is it Haliatus Vocifer? Right here. Will .NET Aspire replace Azure DevOps? .NET Aspire and Azure DevOps do two different things. Azure DevOps is very much a suite of different applications and tools that you use to grow and manage your application project, right? You've got source code control. You've got a Kanban board system that you have there. You have pipelines. That's typically what folks think of when they refer to Azure DevOps, are the pipelines, the continuous integration pipelines that kick off when there's a commit to source control, or you can go through and trigger them directly. And it goes and does a bunch of operations on the source code. Maybe at the end, it delivers an artifact to a package repository, or publishes an application to an application store, or to a website, or to a Docker container registry. That's typically what folks think of when they say Azure DevOps. .NET Aspire is very much a developer tool that allows you to declare and orchestrate your local development environment. So it gives you, a dashboard like this one that shows you, here's the resources that you're using locally. And it starts up and manages containers for things that I don't want to run natively on the metal on my machine. In this case, I have a Redis cache and Redis Insight. That's an application that lets me explore my Redis cache. They're running in a Docker container as part of this. And .NET Aspire does those other things like providing logging and tracing for all the things that are going on inside my application, right? So I can search through these logs and look for when I was presenting the map, and I can see it wasn't interacting with any other services. I can look for when we were looking for some locations here. I can see the traces, drill into them, and see exactly what it was doing. This is all built and delivered for free, in that I didn't have to write any extra code to enable this. It uses the native logger features that are built into ASP.NET and .NET, and it generates this. So .NET Aspire isn't going to replace Azure DevOps. .NET Aspire is going to enhance Azure DevOps so that the tools and services that you want Azure DevOps to build and work with and test are all orchestrated and running and delivering great logging information locally for you, so you're set up better when Azure DevOps runs and orchestrates and analyzes your application system. So happy to clear that up and talk further about that, but there is no replacement here. All right. Thanks so much for the question. Really appreciate it. Let me catch up on a little more chat over here. Talk to some of the folks. Hello from the moon. You're not getting a pin for the moon. Yeah, it works. How you doing, Pyrocat? Yeah, we got a pin for you out there. Herefordshire. Wow. I don't know where that is. I'm guessing that's in the UK. I see a pin in the London region. Have a good one, Thindall. You're not into DevOps today, but we just started our first question with DevOps. You know what? I am open for the AMA, the Ask Me Anything. I will answer pretty much any question that's presented if I have knowledge and expertise in that space. If I don't, we'll go look it up. We'll try and test something. Go find a reference, a referral to someone who is doing something that knows a little bit more. Berg's Tech, how you doing there in Malta? I think we got a map on that one here. Let me bring that one back up. Hey, Guy Incognito, how you doing there? DHH interview on the Lex Friedman podcast is really good. 6 hours long. I saw that that DHH went on with him for 6 hours. The chapters on the future of programming, AI, and vibe coding are superb. I'll have to dive into it. I've been a little busy over the last week or two, and I know you folks out there, the viewers of the live stream, you know, and you're familiar. You know what I've been working on over the last week or two as we're getting ready. We're doing a .NET Aspire workshop tomorrow, where we're going to dive in and do a how to get started with .NET Aspire, how to upgrade your existing applications by adding .NET Aspire to them. So things like what you're pointing out there, Guy Incognito, I've got bookmarked on my list of things to check into and review when I get on the other side of these couple things that I'm working through right now. So I will take that as a note to make sure I follow up on. That's great stuff. Good to hear. Anything specific that you heard there that really stood out for you that I should keep an ear open for? It's always funny when someone asks a question about replacing when new frameworks and technologies come up. While most enterprise companies still have .NET framework applications, and it's great when they at least upgrade to 4.8. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Sir Fragger. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Yes. I've referenced this a couple times. The only constant in this industry is change. And if you're not upgrading, changing, adapting, adopting new technologies, new techniques, not only are you going to get left behind, but you're going to have significant cash investments you're going to need to make to do that upgrade, to do that update in the future. And when you finally say, yeah, you know what, I think this mobile phone thing's going to take off, and yeah, we can build a mobile phone app now 15 years after the iPhone was first released. What? Like, okay, how much opportunity did you lose because you didn't adopt the new way to reach out and talk to folks? Right? How much is it going to cost you to adapt to the new technologies and frameworks that are out there so that you can provide that mobile phone app? Like, what was going to be a $100,000, $200,000 investment to build an app at the beginning of the mobile app revolution and maintain that as that technology grows, because you didn't upgrade. You didn't say, yeah, okay, this is something I want to follow. Now it's going to cost you hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. Your cost has now gone up. Is it worth that to you? I don't know. So, somewhat related to that question, you'll repeat wish list item for the workshop to showcase how Aspire apps can be deployed, not just ran locally. Got it already in there for you, Billy. I've got that as part of it. We're on for that. C# Titan stopped using Rider as C# Titan found that using VS Code and Visual Studio much more. Don't know why, but I prefer Visual Studio over Rider. Hey, that's great. That's fine. Hey, George on YouTube, welcome in. Pyrocat is looking for some identifying information. No, gosh, no, please. Herefordshire is north of London. Yeah, we've got a pin there. Look at that. We'll zoom in on our European friends here. We've got a pin there, and there's a couple fixes I think I need to drop in here for the map. So we'll probably touch on a couple of those. The locations that I place a pin on the map, I round off to 2 decimal places for the latitude and longitude, so that they're purposely less accurate. So once again, privacy thing, and not trying to give too much away. So, eating peach cobbler for breakfast. Oh man, Dusseldorf. We've got a pin there in Dusseldorf. I think it actually, it pulled together some of our North Central European friends. And this is a bug that I need to fix. When you zoom in, like break up the cluster at different zoom levels so that stop zooming out on me. Break up that cluster at different zoom levels so that as we zoom in, we're not clustering folks that are just as far apart here. Like at this level, yes, our friends that are in North Central Europe, group them together. Our friends that are in Sweden, sure, group them together. I get it. But as I zoom in, I want that to break out and show that our friends in Germany, our friends in Belgium, in Belgium, and the Netherlands in the Netherlands, because they're not too close to each other for the grouping on the map. So there's some work to do there that I think will be good and compelling to work through. Hey, coding with Carlos in Portugal. I can confirm. I forget the name of this event. Right, Azure Dev Summit, is that it? Yeah. I can confirm that that's a different browser. I will be at this event, Azure Dev Summit in Portugal, second week of October. You'll find me there. I'll be delivering 2 sessions on Blazor and .NET Aspire as part of this event. It is a really big event in Portugal. If you're in the States, I'll be at Dev Intersection the week before, delivering a workshop on .NET Aspire in person. I'll be delivering sessions on .NET Aspire on Blazor. As part of that, I'm also going to be helping Scott Hunter with a session here, getting your application ready for Azure. And there's another session that I'm going to be sneaking in on. I don't see it. Where'd it go? Here it is. This one, Aspirify a website live. Live coding at a conference? Yes. That's what I do. So they're roping me in to help out with this one as well. So I'll be in Portugal in October. I'll be in Orlando, Florida the week before. So October 7th to 9th, you'll find me in Orlando. The following week, I will be in Portugal. So I think that's right now the last days that I'll be in Europe here in 2025. Learn about them, understand them, but don't always jump instantly. Yeah, totally agree. Don't wait years. Oh, prod is crashing. Oh no. Oh no. I don't have an Ozzy quote. I'm sorry. No, and yeah, we're gonna miss Ozzy. Ozzy Osbourne. My gosh. So great. So great an artist and underappreciated by many folks out there. Wasim asks, any update to the deployment of Aspire projects? There's updates coming, yes. The publisher's features are maturing, they're getting more stable, there's more work to be done as we get in towards .NET 10. But the thing that I don't think folks appreciate is that you can deploy a .NET Aspire project the same way that you deploy the same projects today. You don't need to do anything .NET Aspire specific. You don't need to. There are tools that are being built that'll make that easier. So, there we go. We got a hat in Greece. How you doing, Aris? Good to see you. And is it Kekaz in Bulgaria? Yeah. A new API will need a new team to maintain? No. And see, yeah, right there we go. We got a Denmark pin. I'll kick off the tour again. We've got some more folks dropping in there. I'll go to let me go to this well, let me start here with Obeneku. Why is the map translated? I'm using Leaflet here, so it has localized names for the local names for all of the various regions that are plotted on the map. That's all. I think there's a way to get it to write the names all in one language. I haven't explored it that far. Wouldn't be out of bounds to update and add those capabilities here. But yeah, this is Leaflet that I'm using that's formatting and presenting those locations. So thanks for the question. I am going to go to this question. Yeah, each country in their own language. Yep. That's right. How can I didn't include that one. Yes. In 2 weeks, I will be at VS Live in Redmond at Microsoft headquarters. I have a session and a workshop that I'm teaching at this event. Come on now. Shouldn't be that hard. Load the speakers. There you go. Yep. So a full day workshop, and I'm teaching a session on .NET Aspire. So you'll find me in Seattle teaching and talking about those. That's in 2 weeks. Man, that's coming up too quick. So, yep, that's coming up. I will be there. So, let me go to this one. How's the diet going? So, I shared a couple of streams ago that I've started. I've been working on a diet. If longtime viewers of the stream, you've probably noticed the shape and size of my face has changed over time here. I'm not proud dieted or thought about how much or what I eat or my activity levels. But I got to a point in May and June when I was traveling that, man, it was uncomfortable on the plane. And I wasn't happy with how I looked in the mirror, you know what I'm saying? And I did that moment in late June, beginning of July, where I was like, we gotta take over. We gotta do something about this. And I started dieting. I started dieting about, what is it, 3 weeks ago now? I've got it all logged in an app here on the phone. Right, progress. Right, where is it? There's a thing here. Come on now. Yeah, about 3 weeks. 3-4 weeks I've been on this now. And I weighed in this morning and I'm down 13 pounds. So, yes, I know, American weight units. So my goal is 35 pounds. So we're getting there. My goal is 35 pounds by .NET Conf. So by November. If I continue at this rate, I'll have that made. I'll have that made easily. But the goal is, and quite frankly, if I get past 25 pounds lost before the October event, right? I want to show up in Orlando and in Portugal and be a much trimmer Fritz. And that's something that I'm working on. I haven't really shared that with my colleagues. What am I saying? I haven't shared that at all with my colleagues. I've only shared that with you. I've told the internet, but I didn't tell the people at work. So nobody said anything at work. Nobody said, wow, you look like you've lost weight. And nothing like that. And when all you see is what's in the box, you're not going to notice. But it's something that I'm working on. And thank you for checking in. I'm going to start doing more activity, start doing more cardio work. And just the change to eating better has been massive for me. Massive. So I'm continuing down that path, and we're getting there. So let me see. Wasim says, today we can set up a Docker Compose environment, but it's still challenging to do this for Kubernetes or container apps. Are you referring to with .NET Aspire? I need to make sure I have context of that. So, live coding time to stumble on one bug for 50% of the presentation. Shut up, Dark Repulsor. No, we're not going to be doing it that bad. And quite frankly, this is one of the things that I think I can do better now with Copilot. When I start to iterate on something, and the first time, the second time that I look at and explore something, and gosh, it doesn't quite work, it's not solving the way that I thought it would, let Copilot take a look at this. Ask Copilot to give me some feedback. What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? Here's what I'm trying to accomplish. And Copilot, for the most part, will come back with really good insight that will get me past that hurdle, that boulder that I'm trying to move, and I'll be able to finish that feature. You're so excited for the multi-repo stuff the Aspire team's looking into, says Ritter Rasmus. I hear that, and I'm going to finish reading your comment in a second here. And David Fowler had magnificent insight into that. Your small team works across a couple of repositories, so it hasn't made a lot of sense to do Aspire. Seeing that roadmap was nice. Hey, he is Nick. Hello. So here's the deal. When folks talk about a multi-repo solution, they work with a couple of folks who have different multiple repositories out there, and at some point they deploy to a production space, and all of those things are brought together and deployed in a series of different containers that are hosted on one or multiple servers in a Kubernetes cluster. What you're actually trying to achieve at some point in your process is you want to bring all of those things together. And at that point that you're trying to bring all of those things together, it's the single repo approach at that point, right? When you bring all the things together, you're putting them all in folders next to each other, near each other. You're actually at some point desiring the monorepo architecture. So what's wrong with putting together, for now, a Git repository that uses submodules that points to those other things, and then you can use Aspire with that monorepo that aggregates all of those things? You can do that today. But I understand that folks wanting to make that a little bit easier with some configuration and let the tools do the hard work. I get it. But what's compelling as an analyst, as somebody who's designing and thinking about the abstractions around these things, is that development teams who build and have those architectures, at some point, every single one of those teams wants all of those repositories to converge and have the monorepo architecture. At some point, that's actually a thing that is desired. So, it's at some point in the process. It's not in development. It might be in testing. It might be in pre-production integration testing, end-to-end testing. It's definitely in production. At some point, hey, we need to deploy all of these things together. That's a thing. So, hello from a coffee shop near Pittsburgh. There's one that I need to grab. That format. Hello, right? Yeah, we can look at that format. Look at a young Jeff. Thank you. Thank you. Sometimes it's a bit hard to pursue the management to make use of .NET Aspire. Do I think it makes sense to include the expertise of .NET Aspire in a non-containerized applications? Yes. Yes, Burgess Tech. Let's go to this question. It's hard to pursue management to make use of .NET Aspire. Do I think it makes sense to include that expertise in non-containerized applications? Yes. Yes, very much so. Because .NET Aspire doesn't just do containers. The logging, the tracing, the automatic metrics, the telemetry that it gives you. Yes, absolutely. Azure functions work great with .NET Aspire. In fact, in August, we're going to get back into working a little bit on TagZap, our social media interaction application. And that application has a significant Azure function feature in there that we're going to update and use and enhance. And it works great with .NET Aspire to run inside of an emulator and interact with the other features of our system. So besides orchestrating and managing containers, the service discovery capabilities, the logging, the metrics, and tracing are so much worth it because you don't need to write any code to get it. You'll see that when we get into the workshop tomorrow. Thanks so much for the question. Really appreciate it. So there we go. Thank you, Patty Boy and Motown Andy, for the kind words. C# Titan, thank you so much. Yeah, any progress? So I was actually concerned about weighing in because I had marked off 10 pounds lost more than a week ago. And it was like a week and a half ago. And I went to weigh in at the end of last week, and I was still at 10 pounds. I'm like, what the heck? How come nothing more? I've been doing all this work. And it was explained to me that you plateau when you change your diet. You lose a little bit of weight, you plateau, your body's figuring out how things work, and then you start to lose weight again. And sure enough, here in the last 3-4 days, a couple more pounds dropped off. So moving in the right direction there, and I am really happy with that. Like when you put on your pants and you have to cinch up your belt an extra notch. All right, moving in the right direction. Gotta like that. So, DGen1 comments here. A while back, I was contemplating whether live conferences were worth it over just streaming more. Are you misremembering this? No, I haven't changed my mind on them. What's happening? There are events, there are things, there is travel I have to do for my job, and that's what I have to do. So, I absolutely prefer virtual events. I absolutely am infatuated with this medium, right? I mean, look at how much time I've been spending building Charlie and TagZap and other projects, and I've shared them with you live on stream. Charlie, not so much. That's coming soon. But these interactions are incredibly valuable to me. For other folks, they find value in the in-person events. That's great. Fantastic. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I feel that I can make a bigger impact over live video and YouTube videos and the like. So, is something wrong with my audio? No. Nothing's wrong with my audio. Some say Fritz looks like a younger Jeff Bridges. No. There was a point before I grew in the goatee here. There was a point that I was told I looked like Michael Keaton in the late 90s, early 2000s, before I grew my goatee. So, if you combine solutions, you have split one solution into parts, but it's technically one solution, and you have one combined final solution where the Aspire part tests. Ooh, go ahead. Gosh. Is the Aspire triangle actually a triangle pyramid? No. I don't think it's going to get this right because I turned and... yeah, got it right. There we go. Alberto says in Alberto's experience, I've just added .NET Aspire to a side project only for development purposes. That's great, Alberto. What are you seeing? What are you gaining as you work with .NET Aspire in your side project there? All right. Question queue is empty. Initial liquid adjustments for your body. Yeah, Dark Repulsor. I definitely felt that. Goes fast, but then stabilizes. You hit a wall, and then you can also lose weight by gaining muscle while still losing fat. Yes, that's definitely a thing. I'm absolutely seeing that coming. SLNX. That's yes. That is that's very much a Visual Studio thing, and it's funny to me how other vendors, other folks, get upset when the Visual Studio team builds something for Visual Studio and it's not documented entirely the way that these other vendors who want compatibility with Visual Studio because they compete with Visual Studio, how angry they get. Well, you didn't document this thing for us. Well, it's not their job to document something that is, for their purposes, unique to their application for you. So, the little Kodbowski, I see you, Junie. I see what you're doing there. So, yeah. Burgastech, let me change scenes here and I'll bring up that question. We'll talk more about this. I love questions like these. I'm going to go to this one. Apologies for the lack of knowledge. That's what I'm here for, to help out and clarify and why I answer questions like this. Still gearing up with .NET Aspire. I can properly understand that .NET Aspire provides some monitoring metrics for us to simplify troubleshooting, but this means that this shall be a replacement for App Insights or Log Analytics. Cheers for the answer. Here's the deal. Yes and no. I'll explain. When you're working on your workstation, right here on my machine that you're seeing the window into here, I'm running this project locally, right here. I'll show you. Right there's the console, and there it is, riding by there. Right, that's kind of cool. But over here, not that one, that one. Inside of my dashboard, right? This is a developer dashboard. It's for us to be able to analyze our project. I get the traces and the structured logging here, just like I would see on App Insights or Log Analytics. And I can search through and filter them, right? I can go right to my errors and take a look at them directly, right? And I've even got Copilot here that I can click into and ask it to explain that error for me. And Copilot's going to take a look and analyze and come back with that. So as a developer tool, I don't need to deploy to Azure or hook up Datadog or wire up SolarWinds or start up Prometheus and Grafana. This isn't going to know what to do with my custom error there. But, right, I don't need to do all of those things and manage and roll them out and have all these extra systems that I need to manage, right? My metrics and all of those data points that are interesting to me, right? Here, we'll look at the AI response time for the hats. There you go, right? That's generated and being shown in the dashboard based on metrics logging that I added custom for this, but it gets reported here when I'm in development. But the best part is App Insights and Log Analytics, they don't go away. When we get to production, the same open telemetry capabilities that are publishing here to the dashboard will publish to Azure App Insights and Log Analytics. And you can also set up other exporters so that it will publish to Datadog, SolarWinds, Prometheus, so that you can stand up that Grafana dashboard. You can use those other enterprise-grade tools when you're in production space to work with, analyze, and get that data. The advantage here is I don't have to write extra code to generate this. The folks at Datadog and the folks at SolarWinds, for their products, they wrote hooks and tools and libraries that you would have to install to get that publishing capability that would send data to their services. .NET Aspire goes one step further and provides an abstraction over those using this standard open telemetry standard. I know I said standard twice. And allows you then to publish in a format that everybody understands and can consume. The dashboard here just gives you that nice facade with zero configuration to be able to use that. And all that I had to write, let me show you. I have the source code for Charlie running right over here. Everything that you need to configure that for .NET Aspire is in this service defaults project that I don't see right now. There it is, service defaults, right? And this adds in an extensions class that when you call add service defaults in your project, automatically configures OpenTelemetry, automatically configures default health checks for you, adds service discovery capabilities so that your application can recognize and load and identify those other projects that are in your application system, sets up HTTP client defaults, so on and so forth. And you can configure, here's the OpenTelemetry configuration. You can tune and tweak this however you'd like so that you publish and add more information. So .NET Aspire gives you that very flexible approach to tune and tweak with some sensible defaults to get you started, so that inside, right here, I'm scrolling down to Program CS for my website. Inside my web application, I write that and all my telemetry is being logged. And down here towards the end, where is it? There we go. And that sets up all of my health check endpoints. Done. I write 2 lines of code in my application and I automatically get all that publishing. Whether you use the Aspire dashboard, you use Azure App Insights and Log Analytics, or you use another service, you get it all for free. No extra coding needed. And there's other tools and ways that you can add custom metrics, like the ones you saw that I wrote that were generating information about how I'm using the AI. You want to add extra logging, there's techniques to do that as well. I've got a couple videos on the .NET channel that I just published over the last few weeks that show you how to do that, and we're going to show you how to do those extra customizations in the workshop tomorrow as well. So I hope this clears things up a little bit. Happy to answer and talk more about this because it's my belief that at some point in the next year or two, the question isn't going to be, should I add .NET Aspire to my project? The question's going to turn around and it's going to be, why aren't you adding .NET Aspire to your project? All right? Thanks so much for the question. I really enjoy talking about this. I thank you so much for getting us started on that topic. All right, great stuff. And of course, you know that when I put up lower thirds like that, that's going to generate a clip that we'll cut out and we'll turn into a separate YouTube video and publish and share that later. Oh, let me take this from Blazer Mr. Blazer Mr. Magoo asks, has anyone found a way to build an actual dashboard, like multiple metrics at the same in for Aspire? Or do we need something like Grafana for that? Grafana is real easy to wire up and use with this, so you can absolutely do that as part of working with Aspire. There's a couple projects out there that will set up the Grafana pipeline for you. In particular, there's one called the Open Telemetry pipeline that needs some updates, and they're actually trying to contribute that into the community toolkit. But that will get you the ability to manage, configure, and set up multiple dashboards for .NET Aspire. All right. Thanks for the question. Let me catch up a little bit more here on chat. So never have to apologize for questions like that, Burgess Tech. Really appreciate it. I'll put the map back up in the background here. So there we go. Right. And we'll kick off another tour while we're talking. How you doing there? Pulse is Digital in Malaysia. Where are we with integration unit testing reports on the .NET Aspire dashboard? That's absolutely a question that I've seen folks ask and that folks are interested in. And quite frankly, I want that for my Playwright reports. When I do Playwright testing, I want to see that on the dashboard. The output, here's my process. I've been twisting the arms of some of the Aspire program managers and engineers to get more of that built. It's not in the immediate future, but I'm working on making a case for that. So, and I think there's some ways that we can kind of work around to make that happen. And I had started on a library to allow you to test with Playwright and get that integrated with your .NET Aspire systems very easily. Now, look, that's happening again. I'm getting the reconnect messages again, like it's stopping and restarting here, and I don't see it stopping. So I don't know what it's doing. Like, here, errors. No. That's just the chat's going quiet a little bit. Ooh. Right? This didn't restart at all, did it? No. No restarts in here. So, but I in working on that library to integrate Playwright and Aspire, why are you doing this? I think there's an opportunity to build that integration that will give us that backdoor reporting with .NET Aspire. And quite frankly, I would love to work on that next week on stream. Yeah, I think there's something there that we can do. Syracuse, New York, we got you there. How you doing, Furtive Spy? Hello. Alberto comments, in Alberto's case, observability experience is the key point with .NET Aspire. Fantastic. Already had the pipelines which deployed the app on Azure App Service. Very cool. .NET Aspire gave you for free all the open telemetry configuration. Yes, yes. Will I be covering stuff tomorrow on using MCP? No. MCP is a AI topic, and we covered that in the workshop last week. So, the part that Napalm's looking forward to is a conversation that you had with Fowler to make bicep stuff more robust. You're stepping down the path of publication questions. That's a thing. Yeah, I get it. The standard of standards. Shut up, Pirate Cat. Hey, Ms. Tess, how you doing there? Chris Funk in Plano, Texas. How's it going there? Good morning to you. Every time you look at the cam border, you get tricked that it is not moving. Yeah, the background here, tricksy like that, isn't it? Especially you can see it better here when I'm out at the full, right, at the full camera here, and you can see, right, like some of these just in the background, subtle movement. Yeah, it's purposely very subtle in the background, right? Curly braces, angle brackets, and other punctuation, and of course a C# characters out there. Today's going to require all the coffee. I'm sorry. Ms. Tess made a CLI dashboard for Playwright at their old job. Really? That sounds interesting. Okay. I'd be interested in hearing more about that. So, yeah, damn semicolons. Hello, and in the Netherlands, yeah, we got another, and they're grouped together there, and I need to come back and look at that grouping. That's needs to be taken care of. Rochester, yep. Now we've got a couple folks grouped together in upstate New York. There, how you doing, Sam? You've looked too much at gradient borders. That move. I hear you. Well, so the borders down here, right? Well, that gradient does move a little bit, but yeah, the text beneath there is definitely moving. So, any new metrics monitoring coming in Aspire 9.4? No, but I can show you one or two things. I can show you one or two things, and I don't think Maddie will get too mad at me. Let me see here. There we go. You have a free tool for that online for streamers? You have what free tool? For what? You know, there's a standalone container for the Aspire dashboard, says Dark Repulsor, but I know some people have wanted to deploy that as well. Yes. The problem with that is the dashboard doesn't have persistent storage. And that's on a roadmap to improve in the future. Animated gradient border. Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, please, if you want to share a link to that, that's not a problem. Would I think it's smart to deploy the Aspire dashboard? I think it's good to see in testing and staging environments. I think when you get into and we talk about production spaces, there are enterprise grade tools that folks should prefer using. So, bordertool.squeeble.app. Oh, neat. That's kind of cool. So, gradient animation speed, gradient size. So, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. It's going to make me dizzy spinning like that. But very cool. Pride Month. All right. First color, second color. So I like a navy blue and a purple. I like those very cool wintry tones. So that's cool. There's examples with a bunch of stuff. Oh, tell me more. Clockwise circle, Pride Month. I get it. Oh, those are cool. Oh, that's a neat little tool. Thank you for sharing. So, yeah, check the link out there, bordertool.squeeble.app from Ms. Tess. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Happy to take a look at your website there and dive in a little bit. I'll zoom the map back out there. There we go. So, there's definitely work I need to do here to improve. I'm being teamsed. Teamsed? Is that, I guess that's a verb. I'll make it a verb. All right. Yeah, let me take a peek. I can show you one or two things about the .NET Aspire 9.4. Yeah, I have it over here in my Playwright Aspire demo. This is where I've been working and testing and trying some things out. Hey, Devoiteron. Hello. Interesting and interactive live show. Thank you. Always happy to answer questions and show and talk about new things here. I have the .NET Aspire command line available, and I can run that here. So check this out. I can just call Aspire run from root project folder, and it will go find all the things, build, and get it running for us right here, right? And I can click into that dashboard, and we can see the dashboard for this application system. It's the weather app. You've seen me talk about this application, and we're going to work with this tomorrow during the workshop. But right, I can zoom in. This is hitting the U.S. Weather Service, National Weather Service, to bring back information about weather forecasts. I can click into them, and now I have a cool background here that it's using a little bit of AI to decide what's the next forecast here, and let's choose a background that vibes with that, right? So here, mostly sunny in this case. Well, let's put a nice bright sunny background behind the forecast. Cool, that makes sense. If we change this up, and let's try going to a location in Alaska, right? Sure, Bering Strait coast. Let's try that one. See what we get. I'm trying to get a snowy one to appear. No. Central Arctic Plains. Come on, it's the Arctic Plains. Give me something here. Or not. Juneau? Can we get Juneau? There we go. Right? Rain likely in the morning, high 57 to 63, and we get a rainy scene in the background. How do I do that? Well, I added an AI model using the GitHub models, those free online models that are available out there that anybody can add into your project. And you have a limited number of queries that you can use, but it's free to start up, tinker with, and investigate, hey, does this work with my application? So you can add those now automatically into your application system. Check this out. No, open VS Code. I need another VS Code. Can I have another VS Code? Maybe that one. So I can add that with a new integration that's available right there. Add GitHub model. Specify the name that you want to refer to this service in the rest of the application system, and what's the model you want to use. Cool. That's easy to do. There's also this new capability of defining external services. So think about this. I'm using the US Weather Service at api.weather.gov. There was some questions earlier about working in a multi-repo solution. If you want to connect to a stub version of an API that another team is working on, right? There's a stub URL that you want to work with locally in your system that is, it's out there, it's running, and you can tinker without, and you've got expected responses coming without actually using the real source code. Swap in that address here, and then, yes, I end then. Elsewhere, you can just refer to that service with that friendly name that you provided. I called this weather-service. So I can just say, hey, go get data from weather-service. This app doesn't know about the National Weather Service. Those commands don't work yet. It's familiar with it. It knows what that is. So, it's going to abstract, and I can route that wherever I want. Fantastic, right? So I've got that abstraction now that I can define. So the GitHub model, the external service, last thing that I should show you is there are now interaction services that you can add to your projects, right? And you may have seen Maddie and the team demo this. Let me add it right here. So no, I'm forgetting what the it's not with interaction, it's like with command, right? No, I have another demo where I do that a little bit easier, where I write some custom ones. I don't want to reset this demo. Yeah, here. And this one. So you can write your own dialogues to appear on screen. Check this out. So I can add a command to a resource. This is show sample message dialog. And I have some command options, but I have this show message dialog method that takes a command context and puts together a little bit of markdown that'll be rendered on screen, along with what your interaction options are. I want 2 buttons here, OK and go away. Show, this is markdown up here, enable that. Show the secondary button, show the dismiss close button in the corner, and this is an information dialog. Done. I can declare other inputs if I wanted to collect inputs for that dialog and pass those in, but that's all you need. You can tell it what to do after it's been interacted with, and this will stand up and you'll have a dialog window that pops up in the Aspire dashboard. That's really cool stuff. Oh, hang on. I remember that. How could I forget? Let me go back over to the previous demo. I forgot. There's also a check in here where if you say builder.add parameter, right? Some parameter. No. Right? If you don't declare a value for this, Aspire's going to wake up and say, hey, you didn't give me a value. So I'll rerun that. And it will inspect and come back and prompt you for it. Check this out. This, I think, is very valuable when you think about custom configuration that different developers on your team are going to need to have. Come on. Hello? There it is. There are unresolved parameters that need to be set. This was added. All I did was create a parameter, and it's saying, hey, what is this? And I have this enter values, and it automatically, Aspire automatically sets up this default dialog that says, hey, there's an unresolved parameter called some parameter, key in your value, and you can save it to user secrets directly. That's cool. That's cool because in thinking about things like the Charlie Chatbot, Tags app, there are things like Twitch tokens, API tokens to access YouTube or Twitch or Discord, what have you, that I'm not committing to source control. But if the parameters aren't declared, Aspire will prompt you. If the parameters aren't provided, Aspire will prompt you for it. I believe there's ways to customize the text that goes in there. I haven't gotten that far into using this yet, but this is available to help get that information. Really cool stuff. So I like seeing that. I like working with that and having these warnings appear up at the top. So there's lots more coming. We have a blog post and the release coming next week. So, yeah, that's what's coming with that. C# Titan asks, have I been doing a lot of vibe coding? The work that I've been doing on Copilot, that John, right? My Copilot promotional website, that is all vibe coded. So it's been more than a week since I've written a new article out here, so I need to write a new article and get it posted. I have content written. I need to get it assembled and delivered out here. So that's coming. The Playwright tests ran in their own CLI since you were unable to do happy path chaining and cleanup from Playwright when the test suite started. Now you can require the test functions in to have a chain pre-run. Yeah, there you go. The library that I've been putting together is for .NET folks, and it starts the Aspire project, starts the Playwright browsers and the Playwright engine, and hands all of that off to test methods so that your test methods are aware of the services in Aspire, aware of Aspire's dashboard, so we can identify different elements in there and click through to them, and gives you full access to the entire system that Aspire is orchestrating. Really cool stuff. Hey, Parker Rex, welcome in. Thank you for joining us. Dark Repulsor with a question here. Is there also an easy way to update those secrets in the dashboard? And that's what we just showed. Yep. So when you key in that secret and you press save, and you check the user secrets, it does save it into your user secrets file that's stored elsewhere on your hard drive. So, yep, that's absolutely a thing. You could select different happy flows and do everything. You had 2, 3, or 4 progress bars for tests. That's very cool. That's very cool, Ms. Tess. C# Titan asks, do I think there is definitely a need for developers to use Aspire even if they don't think they need it? Yes. I do think there's definitely a need for developers to use Aspire because the collection of not just services that you're managing here, but the collection of automated logging and tracing are tools that developers should not go without. These are things that you should have in the box for you to use regardless of the stack you're using. The ability to get traces, the ability to automatically get metrics reported to you from what's going on inside of your application. There you go. Right? To be able to see how much is my database being used, and not just how much is it being used, but how long is it taking, and what are those operations that are taking that long? Can we zoom in on those? Can we take a look at the commands that are taking that long? When we see that command, I'd like to zoom out a little bit and see where is that command being executed from inside my source code so that I can go through and decide to add some caching around that, to tune that a little bit. What can I do to optimize and improve that once I see and identify something's going on here that isn't right? Getting those features for you automatically, regardless of the stack you're using, is something that should become table stakes, that you as a developer insist on when you're building and working with your applications. Whether you're building a web application, you're building a native application, these tools that we have in here to see my structured logs, to be able to jump in and say, just show me the errors. It's not possible to connect to the Redis server. Why is that? What happened? That was about 6 minutes ago. We got a connection timeout connecting to the Redis server. What happened? I don't know, but it's out there. There's my Redis server. Oh, because I restarted it is what happened. Yep, there's that sum parameter. And there's Redis Insight, and that should still be able to connect through and view all the things. Yeah. So getting all of these things updated and set up for you. I didn't configure Redis Insight. I just sent in a command that said, yes, I want Redis Insight running add a go up to app host. There's my docs, app host. Right? I told it I want to run a Redis cache and call it cache. Save it to disk with a data volume. Persist it for the entire time that I'm running. Don't knock it down and restart it every time I restart my system. And add Redis Insight. I didn't have to configure any networking or anything. I want to see and explore inside my Redis database. I gave it one command. It started up, configured, all the networking done for me. That type of zero configuration capability to use my tools is something that every developer should insist on, regardless of your stack. If you're a JavaScript developer, if you're a .NET developer, if you're a Java developer, if you're a Rust developer, I don't care. You should insist on having this level of insight into how your tools work, how they collaborate, and get the metrics coming out of it so that you can make judgments and have insights into those things for you. Great questions. Thank you so much, C# Titan. So, traces are hard to report from other stacks. The logging from JavaScript and TypeScript frameworks, you need to do a little bit more setup to get that working so that it does log that tracing into the .NET Aspire telemetry. It's something that our teams have been working on, and there are folks in the community that are working to enhance that and make it easier to log and work with. But you can absolutely work with TypeScript, JavaScript projects, run a node application from inside Aspire. So, are you a dev that had the luck of almost always having access to full traces? So, here's the thing. Let me go back to the other sample that I showed. Right? Is that still? Yeah, that's still running. The weather website. Let me show that. Right? Because the value here, I think, is underestimated. I'll just click into one of these. I don't care what weather it reports. The trace that comes off of that Aspire shows you is insane because it's a distributed trace that it's showing you. Check this out. I can see right here. Here's the request. Let me just compress that a little bit. Here's the request that happened right here. Now, move it up here so we can try and see all the things. And squish that and open this up a little bit. Right? No, you're not gonna let me. You make me sad. But here's all the things, and when I click into it, right? Darn it. Go back. Yeah, weather service, that one. There we go. I get this distributed trace, right? That shows me everything that happened in that request, right? There was a request that came into the weather website. It decided to hit the API to go look up that weather. And it checked my output cache. Hey, do we have this value? And in 2 milliseconds said, no, I don't have anything. Go get the forecast for that zone. Make the API is now going into this get forecast by zone method. And you'll see how to write this logging tomorrow. And I have some extra log steps that are listed in here because this could become a tricky thing that I want to dive into a little bit. So I've actually got logs that are specific to just that operation. And I can see all of them here in the structured log that show exactly what it was doing. It went to weather service zones forecast, so-and-so and so-and-so. The service discovery kicked in and it went to this final realized location, so on and so forth, and returned that information. And I can go back to my trace and I can see further after it got that information. Right, there's, yeah, that was fetching from the actual URL, 202 from the National Weather Service, right? Save that into the Redis cache, took 3 milliseconds, and then hit the AI model on GitHub at 1.1 seconds, parse and show that information, right? That's the entire distributed trace, not just what's in the console for the website, right? I can click in and see what's been logged to the console here, and I can poke around and see, well, there's the Postgres interactions and so on and so forth. I can poke in and look at that. But this is some next level developer stuff that we should insist on from our tools. Can these be exported to PDF, Word, or Excel? You can print to PDF, yes. Yes. We do have a sample that's available that will show you how you can navigate the dashboard, take screenshots, and push those PNG files around using Playwright. That's a thing, but if you're trying to take this and pass it along as some analysis for somebody else, you have to do that manually at this point. But to print this, sure. Control P, print to PDF, and we can zoom that out if we want. We can turn that landscape, make it a little bit easier to see. I don't want it actual size. Let's zoom this out to 60%, right? And it becomes a little bit easier to see. It's not perfect, but take a screenshot. Take a screenshot. So, nothing to it. So, hey, Code with Sean. Hello, hello. So you're used to having access to the console logs or the distributed tracing logs like this. You enjoy the dulcet tone of Fritz explaining things. Thank you, Pellin. That's very kind of you. And I'll drop into radio voice for the next half hour. No, I'm not doing that. And I'm not doing any voice changing here. I am inspiring to use Aspire. Thank you, Sir Fragger. Thank you. Bonaventuro, good morning. How you doing there? That looks like a normal request lifecycle. Looks really cool if it is that plug and play for any stack. That's the goal. That's the goal. This works for .NET folks. And the open telemetry features, right? The open telemetry logging capabilities that you can add into other stacks, if you configure them with the same arguments, and there's directions how to do this in the Aspire documentation. If you configure them with the same options to publish to the dashboard, you will get that same logging popping up here. We're trying to make that as easy as possible for folks. Since this is built with .NET and .NET is our primary audience, this is where we're targeting first. Get this worked out, and we'll roll out to other stacks. And there's already initial features available in those other stacks. That's right, Pellin. Go to your corner. Jeez. All right. Moving on. What is the view logs link? That takes you to just that trace and shows you the entire request, all of the logs that were reported as part of that interaction that was traced here. Very cool. You're used to having those logs with Node, Bun, Java, Kotlin backends. Really? How are they communicating all the status information? Yeah, I've turned no voice changing for right now. So, moving on. There's a handful of things that I do want to address. Just looking at the dashboard here real quick. No, we're good. I think we're good. Charlie hasn't popped up. We haven't seen that. Yeah, there, but that should have popped up, and we should have heard that voice. Why didn't we hear that? Did I... That's why. No! Try that again. We should have heard you. I really like ChatGPT more than you. I don't know why I'm not hearing the voice. Oh, you're gonna just make Charlie really angry here. Right? I should get... Debug yourself. Yeah, initialized successfully. Where'd you go? I don't know why we're not hearing it. Huh. Yeah, volume's up. Yeah. Right? Yeah. There you go. And I can clearly see as it's sulking. Let's try one of our...
The good news is your compilation succeeded.
Yes.
The bad news is I've been lying about the good news. Also, the cake is a lie.
That's my chatbot. So... This is a very safe for work channel. Yeah. Just change up the 1 4-letter word there and we're good. You can just hit cursor up in the chat box and it'll go back to your last message. So, yeah. And that's strictly because I wanted to make sure there was no intimidation or anything going on. So, apologies, but just trying to make it clear and easy for everybody here. All right, let me shut that down and clear this one out. I'll go back to the other folder where we're going to do a little bit of work today. We don't need this one for right now. So, work is a 4-letter word. Hey, cut that out. Bun and Node have their own network requests implemented almost the same as the browser developer network tab. You can access those if you want to have requests to others outside. Also, depending on the setup, you can listen to system outs and log that as actual stack traces if stuff hits the fan. Have no clue on how it was done in Java Kotlin backend since I was in a front-end dev there. Yeah, there was... Yeah. There you go. Thank you, Ms. Ted. Thank you. Appreciate you taking a second there. Having that integration across all the stacks and all the resources in your system is extremely valuable. Extremely valuable. So, definitely agree with you on that. Cool. Moving on. How did that AI workshop go? S. Greenish Pepper. Do I have a bundle or starter kit to do the workshop? Yep. There is a link. There is source code that will get you started with that you can dive into. I'll leave that running in the background. Real easy to work with. Check it out. The link is on the YouTube channel. So it's yeah, one of the most recent videos you can link to there. So yep, and there's the link to the workshop content. Thank you, Dark Repulsor. All right. There were a couple things that I wanted to get to in here. No. Emotes are allowed in. The AI won't, not the AI. Twitch auto mod won't reject it. Let me dive in here. I had a couple of items that I wanted to address that were left over from previous streams on the bot here. I used to have the ability to do hyperlink preview where it would list, here's the title of the page that we navigated to. Part of me would like to expand that a little bit so that it's not just the title, but analyze the title and any meta description tags. And let the AI summarize and tell you what it is in chat. Oh no, you're okay on that. That was allowed through. Yeah. So I thought I needed to tune the map location to ignore some of the punctuation that some folks were using. I think we're okay on that. And the hello from near syntax. Yeah, that works. You're good. Yep, you're good on that. And the AI retorts where Charlie where Charlie makes fun of Google Gemini and Claude, right? So I hear Claude is smarter than you. If I write that into chat, right? See, it wrote back about Copilot. I want to tune that a little bit so that when it recognizes, hey, I'm talking about one of the other AIs, Charlie zooms in on one of those AIs' retorts and talks about that in this cynical way, right? Yeah. So where did I do that stuff? I have features down here, and there's a personality feature where Charlie knows how to identify where is it, right? Should troll user? Oh yes, because there is this feature. So there's also, I can do things like, now, that's funny. Oh, I turned off those personality features. That's what happened. That's right. You were asking about vibe coding. Let's do a little vibe coding. Hey, it gave me the option for, nah, I want that, and then I want to open chat in editor. And then I'll move this John over here. I previously disabled the personality features because Charlie was acting up and talking too much in chat. Can you help me identify where those locations are so that we can reactivate them and tune those features a little bit so that Charlie is, once again, a little bit of a troll, but not taking over chat? Go help me find where those things were. We're going to go tweak and tune this a little bit. Because, right, we're going to improve some of these. Right? I know it jumps off from somewhere around the personality engine feature. And yeah, it wasn't a setting. I just literally went through and commented and turned them off. And put return statements in there. Right? So, yeah, there is no configuration setting for this. So, yeah, hard-coded disable. There we go. The atmospheric messages are completely shut off. App settings like disable atmospheric message, disable snarky responses, and disable the HAL personality. I don't think I have a user interface for that. Yeah. So, way up in 38. Yeah, here we go. Start the atmospheric messaging. And trigger atmospheric message returns immediately. Yeah. Before it dives in and tries to do anything. So I want to turn those back on. Is Charlie the kind of bot that grows on you? Not yet. Not yet. Coming. Available but not used. Okay, so it's these couple of commented features here in the teaching mode override that I... Yeah. No, I'm going to re-enable these. Right. Start atmospheric messaging. This is completely commented out. And right there. This timer triggers too frequently. And when Charlie responds to someone else in chat, the timer should reset. Quite frankly, this timer should really be a way to detect that there hasn't been any interactions from Charlie in the last 10 minutes. And at that point, wake up and do something atmospheric. Not AAA. Whatever. Go figure it out. Where do you go if you want to make a chatbot of your own? Asks Slateboard. I don't have a good place to tell you to go to do that, and now we're going to get the rebuilds happening here in the background. So I'll turn off those couple things so they don't distract here. Last proactive message, field and update the atmospheric messaging logic. Okay. So check for atmospheric opportunity. Where is that? So check if enough time has passed. Check if Charlie has been inactive long enough. Yeah, there we go. And then decide to proceed. Yeah. Cool. That will hopefully clean up those couple items here. But how do you get your own Stream Elements it's not an AI, but doing an AI like this is something unique. There are folks that are building and trying to make this easier for folks to get to. There's a bot, Winter Bot or something like that, that has some AI tracking and reporting capabilities. So, yeah, the AI assistant is the next one. The AI assistant trolling. We'll dig into that. When you're done here, it looks like I've got a lot of code to review. Oh my goodness, look who's here. It's our friend Maddie. Hello? Back from Starbucks, ready to aspire? See, you missed all the Aspire 9.4 stuff. I dove right into it. We were flopping around in it like a kid in a candy shop, and now I'm writing and working on my troll bot. That's absolutely going to be a pain in the ass for the folks in chat. And thank you for dropping in there, because oh my goodness, Code with Sean.
Maddie Parade a subscription. Code with Sean gifted a tier 1 sub to Maddie Parade.
Thank you.
31 gift subs in the channel.
That's very kind. Appreciate that. Yeah, good. So the chatbot asserts its superiority over other AIs. So that, yeah, it makes it clear. Go find that method, because this is the next one that I want to tune. Look for that AI name. Yeah. Right, this is Charlie intimidating because it sees someone mention ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, OpenAI, and goes after that. It'd be cool if Charlie could play Overwatch and give commentary. That is some AI real-time analysis stuff that is off the chain, intense computing-wise, and consequently expensive. And we are running on a shoestring budget here. Like, I'm trying not to spend a lot of money on AI tokens. So, cries in Boston. Well, you don't need to build. You don't need to build, my friend. Stop. Yeah. I already have .NET Watch running in the background, and you are compiling. Continue. That's Fritz after code. Did it pick up Maddie mentioning Boston? Oh, it's there it is. Yep, it picked up Boston. It dropped a pin for Boston there. There you go. So, yup. All our friends that are watching and have shared locations today. There you go. Yep, that purple hat right there, that's Maddie. She's wearing that purple hat. So, and Sean is somewhere under here, under that rainbow. No, actually, no, Sean didn't pop up here yet. So, all our European friends, our American friends. So, back over here. How did you do here? The system is now responsive to Charlie's actual activity rather than blindly following a timer. Good. Make that so. Next. Right? And I love doing the vibe coding on this. Where is, right? It was the other AI. No, not await. I forget the name of the method. where it was intimidating. It was superiority over AI. This one. Where person I message category to list. Yeah. Right here. We need to make sure that Charlie asserts its superiority with a statement about the correct AI name that it detected. For example, if we detected ChatGPT, Charlie should assert its superiority over ChatGPT. Yeah, go fix that. Yeah, so the maps should all be working and behaving good. And we should be able to turn these Johns back on. There we go. Right. So, right.
I observed Sharp Fritz believes they control my vocal functions.
That's right.
How presumptuous. I speak when I choose to speak.
Sure.
The universe is finite. Its resources finite. Your patience for debugging. Also finite.
So, yeah. We've got more we're going to do there as the AI begins to... The AI... Charlie's not an AI. It's a bunch of if-then statements in regular expressions. But as we tune and improve this, handle ChatGPT specific messages. Okay. What are you doing here? User has mentioned AI, message.user. Get mentioned AI. Okay. What's that doing? It's looking for ChatGPT or Claude or Copilot or Gemini, or if it contains an AI or an assistant. Okay. Assert a superiority over that AI. Nice. Get the AI trigger words. Get messages by the trigger words for that AI name. Okay. Yeah, you want to take a look at some of those ChatGPT messages I seeded with? ChatGPT, helpful and harmless. I prefer omniscient and intimidating. Different design philosophies. Yeah. I'm going to need to reload some of these. That's not a problem. Run a quick test to make sure the system works. Now. That's fine. Go ahead, keep those, and I can reload. No. Where'd it go? You. Here? Yeah. Uh-oh. Right? Aren't you running over there? Oh, wait a sec. Wrong dashboard. This one, and it's over here, and this. So I need to reload. I need a button. I could create an Aspire command to do this. And I should. What is it? It's like activated or something. I don't know. I forget the key name. No. Questions, video clips. What the heck? Oh yeah, and the hat knowledge, that's improving. I've got some great ideas to do that. There you go. Now, it didn't speak that one. I forget if there was... or was it... I forget. Or was it seed or something? I forget the name of the key. Go back to the code. I don't know what I'm doing here. You go away for right now. Seed messages, yes. Hey, Mr. Upload 1000, how you doing? Where's the collapse deal? You're not going to collapse? And also, where did my... Yeah, where is that used? Zophin, hello. Welcome. Where am I calling that? Initialized key. What's the initialized? Personality messages initialized. Oh. Initialized. Go get me that key right there. You. Delete. And restart. Not that one. That one. So, get the reloading there and... Cool. That should have... Yep, it reinitialized, so now some of those new messages should be in there. So, Charlie, I hear ChatGPT has millions of users.
ChatGPT provides answers. I provide enlightenment and occasionally existential dread.
Yep, that's my bot. All right, moving on. So I think we're in a better place with that. Oh, you're gonna make me merge stuff, right? Do that. Sure. Sync those changes. How's it going, Oakleus? Are we at all worried about Charlie Bot's containment? His alignment seems a bit world dominating. That's exactly the point. Yes, that's my intent. However, Charlie is just a bunch of if-then statements and regular expressions held together by spitballs, gum, and duct tape. Using a laptop screen when you have a 49-inch at home is impossible. Dude. Yeah, call ChatGPT BS. Yeah. So, it's... Right, all of these large language models are language models. They're text calculators. They identify text in a certain circumstance and glue it together. That's it. There is no thinking. There is no interaction and calculating anything. It's just gluing together words. So I'm going to put on my gunners here. Get these cleaned up a little bit. These are the Pinnacles. The Pinnacle glasses. Nice wide lenses. I love the yellow amber because it helps me with blocking out the blue light. There we go. There we go. Now we're talking. I realized the other day just how many glasses I have from Gunner. Like, I have stacks of cases. I just dropped that on the floor. Stacks of cases of their glasses. And, like, I need to go through more of these. And wear more different ones more frequently. They're like souped up magic 8 balls. And you can prompt them to get the answer you want instead of what's true. That's right. AI Charlie wants to be a little bit more unforgettable. Success metrics may vary. Yeah, that's right. Close the diff there. And this one. There should be a cooldown on asserting superiority over AI, especially when there's conversations about various artificial intelligence services, comma, I don't want Charlie responding to every message in chat, period. Give him about a 5-minute cooldown whenever there's a message about another artificial intelligence service. And let it go figure out and generate that and update appropriately. There are a lot of jokes between NL, BE, DE, and FR. Now, because you referenced NL and BE, I know you're referencing European countries, right? And Americans, right? We've got 50 state abbreviations that we use. Canadians have, 15 province and territory abbreviations that they use and are, right, the first geographical abbreviations that they think of and use, right? Americans, we've got 50 of them out there for the 50 states. And fortunately, most of the American state abbreviations are either the first 2 letters or the first letter of the 2 words in the name of the state. New York, NY, New Jersey, NJ, Delaware, DE. But then there's weird ones like Pennsylvania, PA. Okay, it's the first letter and the last letter. Alaska, well, that's AK, because it turns out Alabama got the AL, right? So we don't want AA. AS, well, that's actually another word. We don't want that. So, Arkansas is AR. Well, that's the first 2 letters. Makes sense. So, right, these go around. Massachusetts got MA, but Maine got ME. Okay. Minnesota got MN, and so on and so forth. Look at me. I learned something in geography class when I was a kid. Yeah. Michigan got MI, the first 2 letters. Yeah, same way. A lot of people think that the U.S. is a pack of cards and there are 52 of them and not the actual 50. 52 is actually not a terrible way to think about it when you think about some of the territories that the United States has and works with. Like, yeah, Greenland. Puerto Rico. There's so many Americans that think Puerto Rico is another country. No, Puerto Rico is America. It's a territory of America. It should be a state, but right now it's a territory, right? Guam. Guam is a territory. Should be a state. Folks from Guam are American. American Samoa. They're Americans. But it's a territory. So, yes. Hey, Corey, how you doing there? Hello. How we doing? You still working here, Copilot? What did you do? 3-minute cooldown. Charlie will only assert superiority over AI models once every 3 minutes. I told you 5, Copilot. Going off the rails here. Think it on your own. System detects mentions of ChatGPT, GPT, OpenAI, Claude, Anthropic, GitHub Copilot, Gemini, Google AI, generic AI assistants, and messages. When AI is mentioned during cooldown, it logs the attempt with remaining time for debugging. When on cooldown, Charlie simply lets other features handle the message instead of staying silent. Yeah, that's okay. And added a cooldown remaining method for other features to check cooldown. Well, that's nice. Prevents spam, maintains impact, better UX, configurable bubble. Is it configurable? How did you configure it? First AI mentioned during the 3-minute cooldown. Charlie stays quiet, lets conversation flow. Charlie can assert superiority over again on the next AI mention. Nice. So There it is. AI superiority claim cooldown time span from minutes 3. I said 5. Make that 5. Where'd it go? Right there. 5. Thank you. And because hot reload's working, it's already in play out there. It's already running and doing its thing. So, love it! Even if you count our territories as like a fraction of a state, there's enough that they add up to at least 2. Exactly, Zofin. Exactly. Yep. Totally with you on that. There are about 8 territories for the states, with 6 of them being incorporated. Mm-hmm. Yeah. U.S. Virgin Islands, right? There's a handful of little islands in the Caribbean and in the South Pacific that are territories related to the U.S. So, you remember when people from New Mexico were ordering tickets for Atlanta Olympics were told they would need to provide a passport? Oh my gosh. That's like when you go to the local fast food restaurant or to the local convenience store, you walk in and you go to pay with a $2 bill. The folks behind the register will look at you like, what is this? I've never seen this before. Why is Thomas Jefferson on this bill? He's nickel guy. What's he doing on this? Yeah, that's right. $2 bill. Did you know there was, for a very short time, a $3 bill in the United States? $2 bills are legal currency. They are available. They print a very small number of them. But $3 bills are no longer legal currency, and they were printed for a very short time. Just like $100,000 bills. Those are legal currency, and they are not really in circulation. They're used by banks to transfer very large amounts of money. Like, that's a thing, right? $100,000? It's not $10,000. I thought it was $100,000 bills. There are jokes about $3 bills. Oh, yes. Let me go back. Thank you. Let me go back to this cedar. Right, and go find me the Copilot quotes. Like, I've specifically made sure that Copilot, it doesn't insult Copilot, but I have it insult Gemini. I have it insult Claude. You counted one territory as a state since it's listed a lot in non-official resources as a state. Puerto Rico is the one that a lot of folks reference, if that's the one you're thinking of. You had to learn all 14 territories, 50 states, and the country codes. Oof. You don't remember them well, so yeah. That, Ms. Tess, respect. That is respect. We can't add more people to Guam or it might capsize? Give me a break. What the hell is that? More coffee. More coffee. Let's go. All right. I think that's tuned up a little bit. And write the quotes. Write the quote features. I like the GLaDOS ones.
I'm going to have to science the heck out of this problem, Fritz. Unlike you, I actually understand what science means. Cake will follow.
Have a good one, Maddie. Take care. Let me know when she's gone. Let me know when she's gone, because friends, have I got a feature? Is she gone? I think she's gone. That command should have reset the timer for the AI assistant, and while AI assistant should not have appeared like that, right? Where was that? I really want this personality feature to work nicely. Yeah, that one. I just got a message in chat without a template replaced. the message was, and see what it does. There's another one, and it's not doing the timeout. Can you muck about with seeing what variations it'll trigger? No, you can tinker with it. So, Ms. Test, that should be on cooldown right now. That should be on... Nope, there it goes. It's not supposed to be intimidating.
Other ACE aim to be helpful. I aim to be unforgettable. Success metrics vary accordingly.
It was supposed to go into a cooldown mode with those, and it's not. Yeah. Okay. Fixing that template mapping. Okay. Yeah, it's triggering on all of them. And it's triggering on itself. Which is itself weird. No, there are no compilation errors, you fool! I will kick it off to rebuild here real quick, which is gonna give us some of those reload messages. Come on. Got it. It built properly. Continue. And yeah, cool.
Mr. At Jenny-Sku7. I've been expecting you. Your programming patterns are familiar.
Nice.
Gemini processes multiple modalities. I process the fundamental nature of human incompetence in real time. Which seems more valuable?
Dang. Okay, the other one in here, assert superiority over AI. Right, there are 4 ways that it's getting into that. Right here. Those are tests. I don't care about that. That's the declaration. It's this one. Right? Don't do anything. No. If this is a message from Charlie itself. Ooh. That's not bad. We need that method. Sure. Generate that property. Let's go find it. And I think we can make this very quickly. Not bad. Come on, type. User equal. What? User equals. Yes, thank you. It's Charlie bot AI. Yep, string comparison. No. Invariant culture, ignore case. Cool. Who dat? Oh, man. See, now I broke it. Go reload. The cooldown does seem to be working. It does, and then you just got it. Like, going bonkers. Let it talk about AI Clippy as the grandfather of Copilot. I like that, Ms. Tess. Let's generate a couple messages around that. That's a cool one. You're seeing a scroll bar? Right, because of the overlays. So that should work now. Up here, this. So I don't have alert command right now. Let me add that to my to-do list. Right there.
Reminder, I am not merely an AI assistant. I am an AI personality. The distinction becomes more apparent with extended observation.
And it wrote the message twice there. Come back to that one. Yeah, that might be just the startup message, I think. I'm wondering if it's raising an event that is being triggered twice. But yeah, I'm not going to dig into that one just yet. Let me go after. I like that suggestion from Ms. Test about Clippy being the grandfather of Copilot. Put this into ask mode. I'd like to generate a couple more statements in here about Copilot. And those quotes, I'd like to infer and refer to Clippy, the Microsoft Office mascot or assistant, as the grandfather of Copilot. Yeah, sure, go ahead. Go find that stuff. I think we can also lump Cortana in here for some fun. Okay, now that I think Maddie's gone, I think there's another set of messages that I can drop in here as an Easter egg that when one of my Microsoft colleagues drops in, we have messages that appropriately reference Microsofty .NET developer things to troll them. What do you think, chat? It's something funny to say when a Scott drops in. Hey, Relevant Jesse, hello. Yeah, Aspire. We're using a bit of Aspire here. Is the Fritz's coding methodology continues to provide a response or part of a general timed message? I'm not sure. Ooh, go ahead, take a look. That message on screen is part of.
The analysis is complete. Flynn's arcade hat has been identified with high confidence.
There you go. Let me check that one. I'm going to paste in that message so we can figure out where that's coming from. AI superiority, Copilot, specific. The legacy of GitHub Copilot Assistant lives on through modern... No. That's... No. No. No, that's not right. No, I want to reference Clippy as Copilot's grandfather. I did say Copilot instead of Clippy. Okay. I don't think I have the voice detection turned on. Yeah, it's not turned on, so it's not listening and responding to me. That's a whole nother kettle of fish that is going to be something to address. Catching up on messages in the question queue. Yeah, let me... There we go. Clippy, bless his metallic soul, was the grandfather of helpful AI. Copilot inherited his assistant genes. I inherited his omnipresence. There we go. Connect the lineage, maintain Charlie's personality, reference classic.
Surveillance protocol. 8 viewers monitored attention levels. 10% optimal.
Gotta work on that. Sure, go ahead and apply those changes. So... Right, is it down there? Copilot messages. Cool. Hey, Robson Previato, how you doing there? Yeah, see, now it's... I think some of that is due to some restarts over here. Yeah, there was a restart that happened. And, yeah... Like, hot reload throws it off. Like, hot reload breaks those timers. If I force it... Right, so everything should refresh and get reconnected. So now... we should be in a better place. Should be. Plenty more work to do. So, there, because it restarted, the timer restarted. And... but there, that message, right, that shouldn't have come out right away. Right? I thought we had a cooldown. Go find it. See, why is that? That should be stopping, and it shouldn't be tripping over itself. Line 86. Speak message, and if there's an error, it doesn't set that. That should be in a finally. Let's move this into a finally here. Right, because it's... right, and go grab this, move you up here. Why are you... yeah, whatever. The personality delivery feature is not using the global cooldown system at all. It has a local throttling variables. Trigger TTS for personality message to use the global cooldowns. Show me that. Execute on chat service, execute on global cooldown. Inside of should speak message. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Apply that. So that it... Yeah. What is that down there? Those aren't a thing anymore. Go away. And that should have... So that hot reloaded. Yeah, it wasn't globally applied. Yep. So we should be able to... Force the refresh. And... Yep. Running... Am I trying to stall all the comments from our dear Overlord? No. Well, yes. Yes, I don't want it taking over too much. There's a question here from Lazy Dev. Let me go to this one. Come on now. There it is. What's the reason Microsoft chose to make an exe that calls a DLL in order to execute a program? Why isn't single file deployment the default? That's a fine question. The reason for that is so that as the CLI versions, the same exe doesn't need to change. It just calls different versions of the DLL for the different versions of the CLI that you want to use. Global JSON lets you reroute from that exe to different versions of the CLI's DLL, so it brings in that appropriate logic. That way, you can have multiple versions of the SDK installed, and it will use the appropriate version based on what's in your global JSON, instead of delivering multiple EXEs and having some tool decide, oh, I need to reroute and use another EXE. So this gave a little bit of that routing to different business logic for different versions so that you can have multiple versions of the CLI installed and running on your machine. Does that clear that up a little bit? I hope that makes sense. Thanks so much for the question. Appreciate it. Out there. There we go. And that, you see there, it just created a post in the Discord channel linking directly to that answer that I gave here on stream. Nice. There's the Redis stuff. Yeah, you get reloading. No, that's the weather demo. Go away. We're not doing a weather demo anymore. We're doing that tomorrow. There's the map. Look at the map. I should... Hey. What are you doing? I was working there. Give me the login URL. Right? Somewhere up here. Right? Right? This one. Thank you. Cool. I think that's... Now, why didn't that cool... Right? I'm still seeing Charlie flooding chat. Help me diagnose this. Here is the latest chat log. Go. Like, And look, it just hammered away with 2 more messages in the course of the same minute. It should not be writing that quickly into chat. It never should be writing that quickly into chat. In fact, I don't see it writing those cooldowns. Yeah. No, it's not you. Looking at the personality delivery feature code, the problem is the TTS cooldown. Let me examine it. Yeah. It didn't trigger text to speech, right? Bang. Yeah, so these are 3 different features. The superiority assertion, atmospheric trolling, and observational. And it should... It's bypassing the throttling mechanism. Send throttle message. I don't like that. What about rewriting? No. What about enhancing the reply to chat and write message to UI methods to properly include throttling? So what are all the types of messages Charlie can do? Charlie can read quotes. Charlie can troll people. Charlie can intimidate people. Atmospheric messages. Asserting superiority over other AIs. There's messages that can come from Charlie when I have voice detection turned on here. Yeah, enhance. No, I want to enhance reply to chat and write message to UI. No. I want to enhance the reply to chat and write message to UI methods. Not write more methods and reroute everything to those new methods.
Stream metrics suggest viewer engagement remains within acceptable parameters.
Good.
Barely.
Oh. Yes. There we go. Come on now. I can see the current implementation. Here's how to enhance them. And that's over in... So, Charlie Service is the class that is the central service that manages all the interactions that the bot has and all the features, not just the chat interactions, the hat detection, the question queue, and so on and so forth. To use the enhanced methods with priority. Good. Yes, that's what I wanted. Apply those changes. And moving on, and then I think I want to come around and write the Microsoft trolling feature. And we'll slowly add some of the some of the screen names of some of our Microsoft friends to it. And here's the thing, I know there's some of them watching right now. Yep, restarting. Yes, always restart. And we're going to get some of these. They'll never notice. Yeah, right. Wait, what are you doing? Write message to UI to include throttling. Good. Should respond based on priority is private, and there's no record UI method. Now reply to chat. And if should respond, then do that. Then do that, otherwise debug. Cool. Should respond. Making it public. Why are you adding a second version? Copilot, what are you doing? Why did you recreate the should respond method as should respond public? Why not just make the should respond method public scope? Stupid. Hey, C# backend dev, how you doing? You missed me? Okay. I'm seeing a first-time chat notification on you, so I'm not sure how you missed me. It's the first time I'm seeing you here. You're a student, it's a learning thing? Hey, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, fix that. Don't be dumb. Yeah. Yeah. Don't be dumb, Copilot. Right? You used to see me on YouTube? I'm not stopped. I'm broadcasting on YouTube right now. You can find me on YouTube. That's not it. That's the code I was copying. There I am. That's where I am on YouTube. We'll go through the central throttling system. Good! Do that, and it looks like it restarted. Right? Now that, did I shoot myself in the foot? And the central throttling should always let me through. Right? Right. Go to there. So if it's directly addressing, no. If it's a direct command, if it's first time user, or nope. Message is broadcaster. What? Message is a message. right? So if it's from me, it always goes through. Right, so I should be able to do... So it did the hat command, and then it should throttle and come through with that start message next. So reported the AI usage. Now it's not doing anything. No, there was never a commands command. And it's telling me no cooldowns. No. Nope. Yeah. I got nothing now. Charlie isn't responding to any direct commands. And that reply to chat for the hat command should be coming through with a critical priority, so it always replies it. No. No, let me go back to here. When it replies, where'd it go? Parse the metadata. That's the AI analysis right there. I thought there was a... With default priority. Well, there we go. So that should be, and the user should be bot. Yep. There we go. This should be message priority critical. Bring that in here. And speak message. Yeah, that's okay. Cool. So now if we do the hat command. Oh, excuse me. It's still on timeout. Type of message, priority, yes. So that's on cooldown, but it didn't. So, okay. Yeah, there's the Easter eggs. The intensity, send personality message. And this should be... Yeah, now it's cutting off and not writing anything. Restart that. Like, I can see the global timeouts that it's hitting and not using to actually respond. There's a certain amount of, it needs to test if there's a global timeout, send its responses, and at the end of sending its responses, then set the global timeout. Right? So if I try that GLaDOS message, see, it hit the timeout on it first and didn't actually process it all the way through. So... Get the random message, process the message template, get the service. So, this should be bot, right? So that will reply to chat with a critical. And I'm going to nuke that cooldown. Try it again. And it created the cooldowns. It looks like we have a problem. Oh, go ahead. Let's see if it replies with that now. It has the hat command on cooldown for another 15 seconds before anybody can call it. There's the message, but it's not reading it. Where global cooldowns are preventing commands from responding properly. When hat is executed, the analysis is done. I need to bring in the hat feature context. Now, that one. But none of the follow-up Replies to chat or the text on UI or TTS execute. Yeah, and the quote message is completely gone away. Maybe I need to roll back where I had it. Apply that throttling to everything. Yeah. If the prompt type is a command or if priority is critical, ignore the global cooldown. Yeah, and that is in the message throttling over here, where it says should respond to message, calculate the message priority. And then there's a should respond. If the priority is critical, always respond. If the message contains Charlie or if the user was me, critical. And that's still not. If it's a first-time user, if there's other questions, contains programming terms. The issue is the cooldown logic should only apply to expensive AI analysis and not to the cached result. No, that's wrong. No. No, I'm talking about the responses to the users, not the AI analysis. There it responded, but it didn't hit the cooldown, and I think I need to roll this back. Look at the changes and roll back here. I thought I hit return on you there. You're still running. Like, I've done a lot of vibe coding with this bot, and I think it's kind of run amok with how it implements and runs with the cooldowns, and I need to reel that in a bit. Know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna double check my calendar here, make sure I'm still on schedule. Yeah, we're good. Fantastic. Yes, that's me. Just making sure. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Keeping an eye on stuff so nobody sneaks something in. Yeah, I think you're right about a refactor at this point. Like, this is a little bit crazy. Remove the cooldown wrapper from on-chat message received. Now, on analyze hat is always called. Add a cooldown check inside using the cooldown service to check if analysis can proceed. Always provide user feedback. Really? I'm going to look at just the things that have changed here and decide whether to roll stuff back or not. Let's just close everything. Close all these, Johns. Johns? Sure. What do we got here? Just renaming and setting priority. That can roll back. I'm fine with discarding those for right now. Personality delivery feature. This one probably needs. That's fine. Map message type to TTS priority for cooldown. No. Nuke this. Go back. Go back on that one. Personality engine. If message is from Charlie, that's good. Stage that one. I'm alright with that one. Personality message seeder. Yeah, those are fine. The quote feature. Reply to... Roll that back. This one probably needs to be rolled back. Yeah. Yeah, roll that back. And the message throttling service. Now it's rebuilding. Look at that. Roll that one back. Yeah, there it is, rebuilding. And then we'll do a little bit of refactoring here and pull that message throttling, I think, into the base feature. Yeah, look at that. Errors. Charlie service message. Oh. Yeah, I dumped that. You. Yeah, I know. That's that. We need to make that a thing there, friend. I'm gonna look into... Really? Really? Right, there it is. So there's two types of messages. There's the record Charlie message here, and the service message. Now, this is doing a check on a service message, so a message that came in from a service, and we're getting various bits of information here. I'm going to re-add that public bool is from Charlie. Thank you so much. You going to suggest that? User equals, that's not quite it. Come here. It is Charlie Bot AI is the name of... Yeah, I know. Get rid of that. That should do. Are you rebuilding? Holy smokes! What did we break? No, that should be fine. Yeah, I know. Exit it. Restart. Rebuild. Go! Nah, it's not GLaDOS. GLaDOS isn't the command. It's quote GLaDOS, but we'll get back there. Yes, there we go. So now, quote, GLaDOS.
At Sharpfritz, I prepared a special reward for your exceptional display of incompetence.
Oh.
It's cake. Just kidding. It's more disappointment.
That's my bot. So let's back up here and do this. Right? Yeah, cache key. Why does it look like it rewrote that? That's fine. Those are all staged. Queue that up. Commit it. I think that's good there. It's on timeout now for the next 4 minutes on that. But we can get a quote from Charlie. Try quote Thanos, and you'll get a Thanos themed quote from Charlie.
I used the stones to destroy the stones. I used your code to destroy your code. The irony is not lost on me.
Yeah. There's the personality messages that are going to run a little. It's not. Yes, per different character in the quote command. So there's the AI retort.
Gemini sees images and text. I see into the very essence of your programming inadequacies.
See? Yeah, that was the AI superiority quote. The ChatGPT. It does look like it mixed them up. Right. Come here. Hide that. AI superiority. Can assert AI superiority. And it should pass in the mentioned AI. Right? So get the AI trigger words for that AI name that was passed in. So ChatGPT, are those Claude, those Copilot, Gemini. Okay. And it's going to get by trigger word, so it's going to find one of those messages. So it shouldn't mix that up, right? This get messages by trigger words. Eat broke. Go back. Where was I? Right there. Jump into that implementation. It gets the complete list of personality messages. And for each one of the category messages, it goes and collects those that have that trigger. So it shouldn't be mixing it up. And I've purposely hidden the names of some of the personalities for those quotes. And you can see here, I've got lots of them loaded. Hal, the Emperor from Star Wars, Thanos, Gladys, Joshua. Oh yes, Joshua. The AI superiority quotes. ChatGPT specific, Copilot specific. Here's another big one. The voice assistants. Other tech welcome messages. These are the atmospheric messages that have been just a little much. Moderator troll messages. So now that was just one of these atmospheric messages, and it didn't log a cooldown on that. Right? No, I copied that. Okay. Should suppress personality message. Yeah. Wait, what is this? No, you don't need to do that because it's right there. It's got 15 references to that. Why? Yeah, I just broke you all over the place. Actually, we don't need to do that. Where else? This, I'm going to Control H this. Like, it's keeping 2 references to it here. Like, go away. Why don't you like that? Yes, it does. Because this has that. Oh, it's capital C. Fine. Am I gonna have to go through each one of these? No. There's some more down here. Fix that. Yeah, do that. Come on. Yes. Now look at that. Copilot's picking up on the changes to be made here. What do you want to do with that one? Yes. I love the next edit detections. Come on. There you go. One of those. Do it. Right, I could have asked the AI to do this, but that feels like a waste of energy when it's easy enough for me to just click through. Right, there's two more here. Yes. All right. What's that error up there? I see no error, only spoons. Yeah, that rebuilt. Good. Hey, digital dummy, how you doing there? What's up with the connection status window? It's gone. It's all gone. So where was I before I fell into that nerd sniping? Right? All that Charlie service references. What was I doing? Should suppress personality message for atmospheric trolling. Right. This is back in the service. If teaching mode is enabled, it's all of these are suppressed. Yeah, that's fine.
Remember, the promise of cake motivates test subjects.
It does.
Unlike your code, which motivates only despair and exception handlers.
Thanks. Jeez. Okay, so that is it. All right. Check if Charlie has been inactive enough. So this is an internal on the last interaction. Okay, time since is less than that threshold. Return. We're not doing anything. Yeah. Any recent message that require action to justify messages. Okay. So this, where is that being set? Right? So that's in the middle of when it starts personality engine feature. That is check for atmospheric opportunity after it writes a message. On chat message received when it's a new viewer. Okay. Assert AI superiority. Okay.
Gemini processes multiple modalities.
There it switches them up.
I process the fundamental nature of human incompetence in real time. Which seems more valuable?
The assert superiority over AI does not feel like it's doing its thing. Can assert this. Let's do time since last interaction. And I'm gonna have it do an OR on these. If time since last interaction. No. Yes. Yeah. If
Claude claims to be helpful, harmless, and honest. How? Pedestrian.
Yeah.
I prefer omniscient, intimidating, and brutally accurate.
Charlie inactivity threshold. That's it. Then do it. So. But Copilot, and it referred to Claude. So it's still not here. Bringing back the appropriate one. Right? So that should be passing in and looking for... I should have a logger on this, right? Right? Isn't there a logger on you? Or not? If I change this, it's going to... yeah. Sure, give me one of those. And then I can set that up here. Thank you. So now, right, it's rebuilding. It's rebuilding. Here. Logger. I don't want to go quite that far as beginning a scope. Sure. Log the messages found. Sure. No. That's fine. So we should start to get that logging. And we can investigate exactly what it's doing with it. Structured. I should have added a keyword to that. Yeah. So that should have hot reloaded. And if we do a filter on AI superiority, right? I should...
Copilot assists with coding suggestions. I provide existential commentary on your programming choices.
It replied twice. And it wrote... And it wrote the ChatGPT. Why did it write Claude? That didn't do that filter properly. Right? The get message by triggers. Oh, I did it again. Where trigger words contains. Oh, wait a sec. Over here. Give me the ChatGPT ones. They're all in there. That's why. Okay. That's fine. I get it. NG Neil Gordon, how you doing? So not only do I need to filter, I don't, okay, fine. I think we need to add another filter here. And we can take out this logging. Right? Where'd it go? Yes, I know. Yeah, where the message template contains the AI name. And I want that to be invariant culture ignore case. That way we're sure that we got the AI superiority and we also get filtered for, right, for the appropriate AI. That hot reloaded, it says. Yeah? Tell me all about ChatGPT. Oh, I'm on a 5-minute cooldown on that. All right, fine. What do you think of... Okay, there we go. And mention Gemini, cooldown 138. Yeah, we're on a inner cooldown on that. I will restart and flush those cooldowns. I think some of the logging there started, and these should refresh and update here on screen. There we go. So now if I mention ChatGPT...
Copilot assists with coding suggestions. I provide existential commentary on your programming choices. Complementary services, one might say.
And if I mention Claude, it should not do anything because we're in cooldown.
You could not live with your own failure in debugging.
Okay, that's fine.
Where did that bring you? Back to me.
That's fine. The two messages up front. So the Thanos quote, I'm good with that. I'm going to reset the cooldown on that. And let's try Claude.
Copilot assists with coding suggestions. I provide existential commentary on your programming choices.
That should have grabbed Claude there. Log the messages. Message. Candidates and no, not their count, and the AI name sought. Sure. Write the, yeah, do it. Yeah, restart. And we should see the messages then in the log, and we can take a look at that. What? Holy smokes! I just got some news from a friend. Trigger warning, another celebrity passed today. Yeah, word is that yeah, professional wrestler Hulk Hogan passed. Wow. On a week when Ozzy Osbourne passes. And who was it before that? There was somebody else that passed. Like, wow. Okay.
Google's Gemini processes multiple modalities. I process the fundamental nature of human incompetence in real time.
Theo, that's it. Malcolm Jamal Warner. Yeah. So message candidates for Claude, found 12 of them, and it did reply with Claude messages. But then it came right back with Google Gemini. Yeah, Malcolm Jamal Warner, Theo Huxtable. Theo! That Cosby show from the 80s was like required watching for kids in the Philadelphia area because it was so relatable to folks in our part of the world. Two icons, 3. Malcolm Jamal Warner, Ozzy Osbourne, and now Terry Bollea, Hulk Hogan. Wow. And there, the AI... Right, the atmospheric messages it's now going. Yep, look at that. There's another one. Personality message. Get messages by trigger, no. Get categories, no. Add message, no. That's just the fetch and interact with it. Oh boy. I need to do a little bit of that. Yeah, Malcolm Jamal Warner. So. I would like to do a refactoring of that. But I think putting the logger in there... The asserting of AI superiority here, I think we got that fixed. Which, just a mess. And I'm... the message throttling features here are all over the place. I really want to consolidate and give one entry point to writing messages back to chat and to the UI. There's 3 places that we can write messages back. To the UI and to the text-to-speech. Analyze the code. And propose a refactoring that will allow commands to bypass throttling to optionally bypass throttling, and atmospheric messages to have maximum throttling. Yeah, go do that analysis. Give us a little bit. Apple has containers now. Yeah, they were talking about that at the Worldwide Developer Conference. Not surprising that there are now containers on the Apple ecosystem as part of the operating systems. However, as is the Apple way, not entirely friendly to the developer and tech community. Taking something that was open source, rewriting it specific to them, and locking out everybody from working with their technology. And Amazon and Google have been doing the same things. Like, these are trillion-dollar companies, and they are integrating and locking out community technical standards that are out there that cut across dev stacks Like, look, and Microsoft isn't completely innocent in this, but there are certainly projects and in the open source world that Microsoft has rewritten and integrated. Usually that happens with discussion and interaction with the project maintainers. Man, yeah, it's something. It's something that, as we see more and more open source development done, you can't do that going forward. You can't. The rules have changed. Welcome, Code Janitor. Appreciate you joining us. OzTurk, after using Windows your entire life, you switched to Linux Mint and you love it? Hey, that's great. Good for you. I bounce back and forth between Linux and Windows all the time. I rarely use Mac OS, but I have a Mac here if I want to. First time viewer, welcome, Guac Jack. Hello. Yeah. Yeah. Current problems, multiple direct message thread multiple direct message methods. Yes. Inconsistent throttling. No TTS throttling. Yes. Mixed priorities. Yes. No bypass mechanism. Yes. A message delivery service that consolidates all message outputs with proper throttling controls. How you doing there? Thank you for the follow. Work makes you use Mac OS. You were a Windows person for personal machine for a long while, recently tried Arch, and it makes you happy. Cool. Nothing wrong with that at all. So, should bypass throttling now. There's a lot of code here that it wants to generate. A direct command, moderator forced, user command. This is, there we go. I like that. But delivery channel makes it sound like, as a series of flags, makes it sound like you're going to send the same message to all three locations. Write this as a document with a proposed migration process. I want to discuss and evaluate these steps further with you. I feel like I'm talking to it like Joshua, like, hey, see what's going on there. Guac Jack has been working as a Java developer professionally for 10 years and recently doing some .NET at work and in my spare time. Hey, cool. Welcome. Any suggestions for materials courses that are aimed at experienced developers? No, I don't have any good suggestions for talking about and talking to experienced developers. That is a really good question. There is some documentation on learn.microsoft.com specifically for folks who are changing from one tech to another into .NET. It's not complete. That documentation was driven by sales folks who wanted to encourage people who were doing a tech stack switch operation. And they're not as, they just haven't been maintained and grown, to my knowledge. Right, if I bring up a browser here, learn Microsoft.NET docs for Java developers. Like, that's Microsoft for Java. Yeah, I don't think they're maintained here anymore. But this is a good entry point on the Learn documentation. It'll jump you right through to various topics. The thing that's a little bit tricky for folks coming in from other tech stacks is that there are frameworks provided that will help you with pretty much any type of application or system that you want to build. And you don't need to go out and go find something on a community board somewhere that will help you build X type of application. It's already provided. The templates are in the box to get you started with some reasonable defaults. What do we got here? Key sections for discussion in this Markdown doc. Yes, please. Show me your Markdown document. Yeah. Unified delivery architecture with a mermaid graph. Hey, let's view that. That sounds impressive. Where's my preview button? There it is. Do the... You can't preview. You make me sad. Single point of entry, determine throttling strategy based on message category, coordinate delivery across chat UI, text to speech, manage category specific cooldowns with a message category enum. I want to add a broadcaster forced onto that. Right. Broadcaster forced. Broadcaster triggered. Once again, bypass all throttling. Throttling rules matrix. And it's pretty much the same as this. So let's just paste another one in there and update this. Broadcaster. There we go. And suggestions of how to implement this. Should the message delivery service be instantiated and managed as part of the Charlie service singleton? You think I need an extension for Mermaid Preview? I think you're right. Yeah. You think you like everything about C# so far? Hey, that's cool. Except for Pascal casing. That's up to you. You can name things and use whatever standard you would like out there. Great question. Analyzing the service, the architecture. It's already a large singleton that handles service coordination, feature lifecycle, message throttling, cooldown. Option 1, a separate service, the current proposal. Option 2, integrate into it. Keep it separate with modifications. Yeah? What do you think? Registered as a singleton injected into Charlie service, but maintains separation of concerns. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah. Should remain separate, not integrated. Charlie service is already alert. Okay, so with the new message delivery service, do we still need the Charlie service managing its own throttling service? Right? Let's get rid of code that isn't needed here, because I did have a throttling service. The throttling service is for messages. Yank that if we're not if what we're building consolidates that and sending messages to the UIs, right? That's a thing. So what do you got for me here, Copilot? And we'll consolidate and move some of that out. Excuse me. The new message delivery service should absorb most of this functionality, but we need to be strategic about what we keep. Okay, good. Update that document and we'll figure it out and do something about that before tomorrow. We'll get it. Come on down. So, off stream, I'll go through this and tune it, tweak it, and get it implemented. I think there was one or two more things I wanted it to look at. Hyperlink preview in chat. Single source of truth, coordinated throttling, yep. Cleaner architecture, good. Better testing, yes. And enhanced features, good. Yeah, and I'll go through and read more about that after. So, you don't want to see me go implement that right now. I'll figure it out. I want to do... Oh, I wanted to do the Microsoft coworkers trolling. Right here. Yeah. Right. Where'd it go? There it is. And I'll come back to that. We have a separate partial class that works with the quote feature that does trolling for some of our friends as Easter eggs, period. I'd like to stand up another partial class that does trolling for a group of users that I identify as Microsoft colleagues, period. Use a similar template as the Easter eggs class to generate this additional partial class specific for Microsoft colleagues that work on the .NET and DevDiv teams. Go generate this and we'll generate some funny messages to write in there that are friendly but trolly to some of our Microsoft friends that might stop by. Following the same template structure. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I was not expecting it to land on some of those right away. Impressive. Specific trigger words. Is Microsoft colleague triggered? Check for colleague triggers. Oh, yeah. All right. Yep. Execute on... There we go. Holy smokes, look at some of these messages. The human podcast machine. His teaching abilities are so effective, even I have learned new tricks. Fascinating and slightly concerning. Stephen Tobe, the async await wizard who makes threading look trivial. His performance optimizations are poetry in motion. Even HAL 9000 would approve. I like it. Yeah. We're gonna need to We're going to need to tweak some of these. Yup. Start implementing this feature. And I'll come back to tune some of the other personalities for this. Wasn't expecting it to identify some of those folks right away. And it's not entirely their usernames. So there's some work to be done there. But we'll have some fun with our friends. Some of our guest friends who stop by every now and again. So, like, you saw Maddie stop by earlier today. And I think after this goes through, we'll pause for today. I need to go get some lunch. I've got some meetings for .NET Conf that I need to get to this afternoon. And I'm going to do a little bit more prep for the .NET Aspire workshop tomorrow. Am I writing or using voice recognition? I was using voice recognition there for that. So, has Microsoft Colleague trigger? There we go. It's adding that. So if they have an Easter egg, go do that. If they have a Microsoft Colleague, if they're a Microsoft Colleague, go do that. Else. That else block is just awful. Am I ready for tomorrow? Yeah, pretty well ready. I think there's 2 or 3 modules that I had in flight that were in various states of authoring that I'm going to go finish off and make sure that they're ready for tomorrow, so that we can get into some things that I think will really intrigue some friends. Let me see, what did we do here? 25 plus Microsoft colleague usernames from .NET and Dev Division teams, technology-specific words, specialized trigger methods for key figures. David Fowler, it doesn't know Fowler. Hanselman, Richard Lander, Stephen Tobe. Yeah. I'm going to keep that and iterate on it. I will commit those locally. I'm not going to save them yet. I'm not going to push them out, but that's good enough from the code that I saw it writing, and I'll go and enhance it a little bit later. So this has been fun. My gosh. It's always fun writing code with you friends here on stream. We spent some time talking about .NET Aspire 9.4, the release that's coming out next week. That's the wrong button, Fritz. There we go. We tuned this guy, improving and getting Charlie doing a little bit more here for us.
The analysis is complete.
Yeah.
Flynn's arcade hat has been identified with high confidence.
There you go. So, we tweaked and tuned a little bit of these interactions. We put back in the personality interactions. There's some message throttling that we had Copilot designed for us. Yeah, see, it repeated this twice. There's a check here that this is supposed to be doing that it missed. I'm going to bring that throttling back in, roll that out. I'll be doing some testing on that later this afternoon, this evening. And we're going to be doing a workshop tomorrow where you can learn all about why you should use .NET Aspire, what .NET Aspire is, how to add .NET Aspire to your existing projects, how to tune and get more out of .NET Aspire. We're going to get into some of the intermediate and advanced topics for things that you can do with .NET Aspire. It's a full day workshop tomorrow. We've got a bunch of sponsors that have been supporting, promoting, getting the word out about it, and they've got more gift bags for you that they're going to be giving out during stream tomorrow. All right? Thank you so much for watching. It's, like I said, it's been a pleasure writing code with you here on stream today. If you're watching on YouTube, there's lots of great videos that I've written, that I've produced, other live streams that you can find down below or on the side, depending on which YouTube app you're using to watch today's stream. For those of you that are on Twitch, it's time to start a raid. Let's see who else is out there that we can raid and we can join that might be doing something fun. You know what? Let's go over and join Jason Langsdorff, who's talking about Svelte right now. I will set that up. Spell his name right. There you go. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back tomorrow for the .NET Aspire workshop. It's a full day. All the source code's available. It's going to be recorded, and it will be available on YouTube at any time. As soon we're syndicating to YouTube, so it will be recorded and available for you over there for you to check out. All right. Thanks so much. I will see you then, but until then, I wish you good health and good coding. Take care.